a third Fantastic Beasts movie coming out pretty soon. I got to check it out early, and honestly, after seeing the first two, I was like, just give me one more, and I'll be done with this franchise. After this new one, I'm surprisingly on board now and want to see the rest of the adventures that they have planned out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're discussing Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. This is about the world-renowned wizard Professor Albus Dumbledore, who knows the powerful dark wizard Grindelwald is moving to seize control of the wizarding world. Unable to stop him alone, he entrusts magic zoologist Newt Scamander to lead an interpretive team of wizards and witches. They soon encounter an array of old and new beasts as they clash with Grindelwald's growing legion of followers. Featuring the same cast members as the originals, as bringing in some new ones, we'll be able to definitely talk about those. And also following some controversies of Johnny Depp being dropped from the film and being recast as Mads Mikkelsen. Now, I'm definitely going to speak on Mads because I think he's an excellent actor and I think he's great in this role. I do wish Johnny Depp would have came back, but, you know, I don't personally agree with dropping him out of the movie, but whatever. It's not my say. All I can say really much about this movie is how damn good it is. This is totally a course correct for the entire Fantastic Beasts franchise, and as a point of reference, the first movie I thought was cute and fun, but after watching it, like, originally they announced like 6 of these movies, and seeing the first one, I'm like, I don't see how you're going to do 6 of these movies, but okay. Watching the second one, I'm like, you know, this is a good setup. Just give me a great finale, and maybe it'll make the second movie great, and, you know, we'll go from there, and that'll be it. Give me a great finale with the third movie. But after seeing this movie and getting Steve Kloves, who really much was the main writer behind all the other Harry Potter movies, taking what Rowling had made and adapting them into a screenplay, which Rowling had actually done the screenplay for the first 2 movies, and no. I say that because she is a book writer, she doesn't know how to screenwrite, and Steve has that magical touch to be able to adapt these things, and I think he actually really much took the course correct for this entire franchise, caught us back up, and we're going to talk about all this, but really much made me go, I want to see more of this world. I want to explore more with Newt Scamander and the rest of the crew. And I think there is a lot more actually to this all. And I'm excited to see potentially what they would do with a next movie in this. But overall, other than that, guys, if you guys are new here and you love talking movies, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because I'm a geek, and I'm sure if you're here, you're probably also a geek as well. So let's have some fun down below in the comment section, as well as if you're a Potterhead, well, understand this will be a non-spoiler review, so you are safe watching this if you're excited. The movie comes out pretty soon, so make sure to look out for it then. Starting with my pros, the number one pro that I have is Steve Kloves. I think that is the biggest part about this. Again, bringing back the original writer from the very first Harry Potter franchise, and really much bringing him in here to kind of course correct the entire thing was one of the smartest decisions that you could have done. I still personally say that I don't think David Yates should be directing this. I think we need some new fresh blood in here, or even bring back some old blood, say like Alfonso Cuarón, to kind of bring back this franchise. But David Yates, whilst doing still a solid job as directing because he gets this world so well, it's Kloves' writing that really much brings it all back home, and kind of honestly, no pun intended, brings the magic back. I was truly kind of surprised by this because the first 2 movies were fun additions to the wizarding world, but never really made me feel like I was actually back in, again, Hogwarts per se, or again, just in this world that J.K. Rowling had created and that you explored from the Harry Potter novels and especially the Harry Potter movies. This is the first movie that actually brought me back that feeling that actually feels magical again. And I love that feeling that Kloves was able to write in here and again adapt and bring, giving enough character development to say Newt Scamander, some of the other characters, Dumbledore, Grindelwald. And while there is a lot of bouncing around, and I'll definitely mention that in my mixed aspects and some of the cons, but it was something that actually moved the story along and made me go, alright, I feel like we're now settled in a place where 1 and 2 are behind us, we've moved the story to this element, and now we can go on to the next movie and have a fantastic one at that. I don't think this movie is perfect. I think it's a really good movie. It's not great, it's really good, but it's a movie that, again, made me satisfied and excited for the future, unlike the other 2 films. So coming off that, I think the performances in here are great. Mads Mikkelsen, let's start with him because he is, of course, replacing Johnny Depp in here, who I did like his portrayal of Grindelwald, but I gotta be honest, I think Mads Mikkelsen was a better fit for Grindelwald from the start. The look, everything to him, his performance, I think Mads is an amazing actor, and I do also think Johnny Depp's an amazing actor, but for me, Mads is the actor that I think should have portrayed him from the very beginning. And I remember there was even fan casting of him before Johnny Depp was even announced, and I still contend that this was a really great recasting, even though, again, I do wish they would have just stuck with Depp to kind of give him one more movie to kind of flesh him out a bit more, but with what Mikkelsen got in here, it was kind of scary and terrifying, and you actually get to see a little bit of why Grindelwald is this scary, dark wizard that we've heard so much about for so long. As well as some other standouts that we have in here is Jude Law as Albus Dumbledore. He is just such a damn charmer here. Eddie Redmayne is so damn good as Newt Scamander. Alison Sudol as Queenie. I wanted a little bit more of her in here. I didn't think we got enough of her, especially how she was personally my favorite in the original Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The two big standouts in this entire movie is Jessica Williams and Dan Fogler. Jessica Williams' character Hicks is a brand new addition to this franchise, and her introduction here is perfection. I couldn't get enough of her, and her dynamic with Dan Fogler, Jacob Kowalski, is perfect. I loved both of them together, and I really think they brought, again, some magic to this entire film, and really a new dynamic between the actual main characters in here, because this team that they're really bringing about is, you know, not the typical team you'd see from the trailers and typical team to take on Grindelwald, but it was one that had this nice aspect to it, and I think both of them rounded out that team so perfectly. Honestly, some of the reveals that we had gotten in the first two Fantastic Beasts movies kind of rubbed me a little bit wrong, in not the best way, but I was like, let's see how that can be explained. And one of the biggest reasonings was the way that they actually continued Credence's whole entire thing, or, again, now that we know that he is a Dumbledore, I thought this was actually pretty important to the entire story itself, and the way that they actually handled it in this movie, I thought was perfect. I would have liked a little bit more time settling in on it, but again, there was so much that they had to get done in this film that the aspect that they did leave to it, I thought was pretty damn important, and I really liked it. I think Jude Law does such a great job handling that material as well, and it became an emotional crux for the entire film. Another thing that was pretty exciting about this was a lot of the wizarding battles and all the trickery that they had to do to get around Grindelwald's seeing eye of seeing the future. Having this element in there is really cool, and again, all the different dynamics that they had to do, even though it kind of feels at first that like, oh, why are they doing so many different things? They kind of had to. Maybe even the plan didn't execute right. At the end of the day, it did come about to be a fun adventure movie. And I think that's really what these movies have always been about. And this one kind of executes that concept perfectly. One thing that I always felt was just thrown in there was Newt's whole zoologist thing and how much he loves animals. And I love seeing these creatures. But in the first two movies, it always felt like it was never like a part of the actual story. For me in this film, though, the way they actually wrote it in was, again, no pun intended, magical. And I liked it because it actually felt like it didn't deter from what was going on. It felt like Newt's skills were needed for this, and not just to have, oh, cool, a cool monster, an animal here or there from the wizarding world. It all felt streamlined and weaved in to the entire plot. Of course, adding a little bit more magic in there, I thought the cinematography and as well the score were very well done. This is overall just a very entertaining movie that I had a blast with, and again, makes me excited for the future of Fantastic Beasts, which is something I wouldn't have said a couple years back. Like I mentioned, this movie was not perfect, and I do have some issues with it, but I do want to start with my mixed bag element, and one of my mixed bag elements that I actually have with this is how much the film is jumping around. While again, it does move a lot of moments forward, there are some characters in here that definitely needed a little bit more development, or even certain plot lines that needed a little bit more time. And this is the first movie that I feel like really needed maybe 10-15 more minutes. I know it's already 2 hours and 22, but there's so much going on. And at times I feel like it rushes through certain things where I was like, I would have liked to spend a little more time on there, and maybe even there as well. And, you know, I don't know if that's because the writer had so much to do, as well as a directing job, but for me, it just felt so sporadic at times that I felt overwhelmed. Now, again, I'm not the biggest Potterhead in the world, so maybe that's just me. Maybe all you other more loyal Potterheads will have a better streamline to it all. But still, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's just a little bit, there was a lot going on. I kind of wish they would have just brought it in and honed it in a bit, especially with the subplots. The last thing I'll mention about the mixed bag is I didn't think all the visual effects were perfection. Some of it kind of did take me out of the moment, but even then, still, I think the thing that's really sad to me in this whole entire part, and this doesn't even go to my mixed bag or my cons, is that I just feel like there's really no hype for this movie. I feel like even talking to some people who are giant Harry Potter fans, they've kind of just given up on this. It was nice seeing at the press screen so many other Harry Potter fans, though, being there and being excited who had won tickets to see the film early and actually seen them all in their cosplay. And I'm really hoping people go out and support this and actually give this franchise one last try. Remember, third time's the charm, guys. And that happened to be it here. Wrapping this all up and ending with my cons. And one of my biggest cons that I actually have with the movie is the fact that Catherine Waterston, who I think is absolutely probably the best character in this entire franchise, is Tina Goldstein's not in here that much. And I was sorely very sad about that. She maybe has less than 3 minutes in the film, and I thought that was a disappointing thing. I think she's fantastic in this world. I understand that there's maybe some things going on behind the scenes, but even then, I don't know. And I hope in the next movie they bring her back for more, because I thought she was stellar in the first two and easily the best part about those two. And I want to see her and Newt's relationship, or whatever it might be, expand a little bit more. But that's really it for overall all my thoughts. Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore brings back the magic of the wizarding world that so many people have been wanting since Harry Potter's finale. It's not perfect, but it has me back invested in wanting more. I want the rest of these movies. And while I did want more of Catherine Waterston, I'm very sad that she was not in this enough. And I did feel like overall it's a mixed bag. While I understand what they had to do, it was very sporadic and a lot of different subplots were going on. And while it did come together by the end, I just think some more time could have helped down with the pacing. And really much, I'm excited though to see where they go next. And I think this magical venture many people will enjoy. Mads and Jessica Williams were personally the stars for me, with Dan Fogler also coming in. But for me, I think everyone did a pretty damn good job in here. I'm very excited to see what they do next. I hope you guys go and give this that third time's the charm kind of try. Because for me, as done as I was with this franchise and really never caring to go back and rewatch the first two, if this is where I can start and get back on board and get the rest of this franchise going forward, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever they want to do to end out this series and this story, I'm all in. So with all that said, I'm going to give Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore a B+. Color me surprised. I was surprised on this one, especially since I did not like the trailer. But guys, thank you so much again for watching this. You guys are really all the best. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts, and head on over to Sam's Fun Films on how to see films early, and just in general, get in some cool movie news. But until next time, stay classy.